key topics about China-India relations and regional development. Thank you very much for taking your time to join this interview.
Thank you.
Dr. Sheikh, today's interview will have two parts. First, we will invite you to give a keynote speech. Then, we will move on to the Q&A session. David shared with us that you'll be speaking on the topic exploring how China and India, as major countries, can inject lasting impetus into the peace, stability, prosperity, and development of South Asia. The topic is extremely and right at the heart of what we care about. It's such a critical issue for South Asia's future, and we are truly fascinated by your unique perspective on it. Without further ado, the floor is yours. Please take it away.
So, first of all, I will thank the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences, CASS, and my host Peter for inviting me to speak on this topic of profound importance. That is how China and India, as two of the world's most influential countries, can inject a lasting impetus to the peace, stability, prosperity, and development of the South Asia. And as we gather here, this is the passing away moments of 2025. We are already in mid of November, and we are seeing a rapidly evolving global landscape. And South Asia, our home, is standing right now at the crossroads in all these geopolitical and geo-economic developments taking across. And this is a home to more than 1.8 billion people. And this region actually pulses with immense potential, but yet it is being grappled with challenges like border disputes, economic disparities, and also geopolitical tensions. And China and India, as neighboring giants and emerging global powers, global economies, could be the key to unlocking a brighter future of the entire region and more than for 1.8 billion people. So the collaboration between the two countries is not just desirable, it is essential for transforming the South Asia into a beacon of harmony and progress and keeping away the outsiders' influence from our regions, particularly when I say outsiders, that is the Western powers. And these were the same Western powers who enslaved India as well as China and literally all the countries of South Asia. So we need to keep them out and their influence out. And if we want to do it in this, not only just South Asia, but in the wider region of our home, the two giants, that is India and China, has to work together. And let me begin by reflecting on the historical foundations of India and China relationship. We can say that for millennia, our civilizations have intertwined through trade, culture, and innovation. And that time when London and Paris were just villages, and there was no New York, there was no San Francisco, there was no Las Vegas. That time, India and China were having huge universities, and those universities were not just fueling thought processes, philosophy, but also innovations. And from the ancient Silk Road to the shared heritage, we have come across for thousands of years and dwelt together with harmony. And if you look at modern times, despite periods of strain, we have seen glimpses of what partnership can achieve. And I'm not going long back. As early as year 2014, the two nations committed themselves to a strategic and cooperative partnership for prosperity and peace. And it was to by in emphasizing on mutual respect as well as shared growth. So you can say that when these two countries come together, they can make hell of difference. And today, with both countries pursuing national renewal, China through its modernization drive, and India via initiatives like Vikasit Bharat, that is developed India, we have got a unique opportunity to extend this synergy to the South Asia, which is our home and which is our neighborhood as well. So first, let's address peace, because without peace you can't achieve anything. If you want to achieve great, you have to live in peace for decades and decades, because look at those countries throughout the world who never had peace. Even in South Asia, you look at Afghanistan very sadly is a case in history which never had even a decade of peace. And now we can see what the economic and human indexes of that country is. So peace is very essential, and so we need to address peace first of all. And South Asia's peace actually hinges on resolving conflicts and building trust. And China and India, sharing the world's longest disputed border, have shown that dialogue can prevail over discord. And recent developments, including the establishment of informal meeting mechanism between the high level leadership of China and India, highlighted how de-escalation can work out. And by jointly advocating for peaceful resolution in the regional hotspots, like supporting stability in Afghanistan, about which I talked about some time back, that that is a country which did not had a peaceful decade in its recent history. We can prevent escalation that threatened the entire subcontinent. And imagine a trilateral framework of China, India, and Pakistan collaborating on counterterrorism. So, if there is something like that, it can work for peace, harmony, and stability in our region. And through confidence building measures like joint military exercises and border patrols, we can foster an environment where peace becomes the norm and not exception. This region of ours, the home of billions of people, needs peace as a norm and not as an exception. So, and we have always seen that stability follows closely from peace. So, peace in this region is the essential framework for development, and development. And if you talk about vulnerabilities, the South Asia faces vulnerability from climate change, natural disasters, and non-traditional threats like cyber hackers. And here, China and India, our technological prowess can be a game changer. India's advancements in digital infrastructure like Unified Payment Network (UPI), the Aadhaar, you can say, which is something like a unique number given to every Indian for n number of things, and combine it with China's expertise in 5G networks and high speed railway. So, this can create a resilient system throughout the South Asian region. And for instance, collaborative projects under Belt and Road Initiative and India's Neighborhood First policy can enhance connectivity, like linking Nepal with Bhutan, which has got a mountainous terrain, and also work in Bay of Bengal in maritime routes. So, if these two giants come together along with their economy, along with their innovation, along with their technology, then we can make a huge difference in our region, the region of 1.8 billion people. And by investing in shared early warning systems for disasters and joint cyber security protocols, we can ensure that stability will withstand shocks. Moreover, in forums like we have multilateral forums like SCO and BRICS, where the both of these countries can work together and are working together, we can work to counterbalance external influences, especially which are coming from the West, and we can work to make to promote a multipolar Asia where nobody competes and nobody dominates, but everybody coexists and everybody shares. And now turning to prosperity, economic interdependence. is the surest path of lasting bonds and cooperation, because once you are economically interdependent, then you are not going to fight with each other, because that is going to hurt mutually then. So South Asia's GDP could surge significantly if China and India lead the charge in trade liberalization. The bilateral trade right now between India and China is already 100 billion plus. But we have to take initiatives to extend this to the entire region. And for that, we have to work on new initiatives like new economic partnerships, because the traditional economic partnerships or the partnerships of past, they had some issues, and if those issues were not resolved, that is the reason we are not becoming the economic integration like that of European Union. If suppose the South Asia, India and China, we are integrated economically, I am talking about, like that of European Union, I think it will enhance our GDP, the total GDP of South Asia, by at least 30% or 25%. And then West will be of no match to us, and billions of people will come out of poverty and lead a good life. You picture a joint special economic zone in Bangladesh or Sri Lanka, where Chinese investment funds and Indian led innovation hubs. Then you can see the difference, what difference it can make. And this isn't just speculative, because analysis shows that both powers share interest in stable, integrated and prosperous South Asia, with strategies which diverge, and the strategies which diverge can converge because of mutual benefit and mutual interest. So you can say that there are many strategies of India or many strategies of China which are divergent, and I accept that. But divergent strategies actually converge when the interests are shared, when you are having mutual interest and mutual benefits. So both these giants have to work for that. And thank God we are not having any kind of tariff wars like West is having right now. But by further reducing tariffs and harmonizing standards, we can create a South economic corridor that will definitely rival European Union, provided we do it. And it will definitely lift off millions of people out of poverty, and it will foster goodwill. Finally, development is the bedrock of all progress. And substantial development in South Asia demands focus on human capital, infrastructure, and green growth. China and India can superhead it through knowledge sharing and joint ventures. India's programs like skill development, Skill India, can partner with China's vocational training program, and these can benefit our youth population across the South Asia. And in agriculture, combines India's biotechnological advancement with China's irrigation technology. It could even boost food security in regions like Balochistan, which is very arid region. On environmental front as well, both the giants are leaders in renewable technology. India's solar alliance and China's wind power can dominate the entire global front when it comes to renewable energy. And collaborative efforts such as South Asian Green Fund could address climate vulnerability, from Himalayan glaciers which are melting and melting at high time to coastal erosion of Maldives, which has got the potential to sink the entire nation of Maldives under the sea. So we can work to save both all these structures and our homeland. And in conclusion, I will say that China and India are not just neighbors, they can be the architecture of Asia's destiny. But we have to inject impetus through joint action in peace, stability, prosperity, and development, so that we can make South Asia that is united and thriving. And at the end, I will say just one line: remember, today's problems cannot be solved by yesterday's solution. I am repeating again: Today's problems cannot be solved by yesterday's solutions. You need to make new solutions to solve those problems. Thank you.